You're often going to come across the need to create highly customized table visualizations in Power BI. Something like this. Let's just say that your first column is the product column. After you have the product, you have 3 months displayed, which is April, May, and June, and that's the second quarter. And obviously, after you have the second quarter, you're going to have the total of the quarter. But once the table visualization finishes after that, then you would want to have the previous quarter as a total only. After that, you're going to have another column calculation, which is going to be the last year's quarter, which is the second quarter's total value. And then after that, you just want to show maybe the growth over last year as compared to the current quarter. This is not a conventional table visualization in Power BI. You can build that in Excel because Excel is quite flexible. But how do you do such custom calculations in Power BI and make them appear seamless in your Power BI reports is something that we will take a look at today. Alright, let's just start our journey by creating a base visualization and perhaps creating a few measures trying to solve this problem. We'll run into a few problems and then we will take it on from there. So as a visual, I have this simple matrix visualization, and if you take a look at this, in the rows right here, I have the name of the product coming from the products table, obviously, and in the columns right here, I have the months. And to be able to pick up the relevant months of the quarter, I have built a slicer on the left, which is coming off from my calendar table, which has two columns. One is the year, one is the quarter. I'm sure you can build this off very, very simply. In the cross tabulation right here, we have the total sales, and obviously I can see the sales of every single month, and I can see the quarter total at the end. Now, my intention is that here, as one additional column calculation, I would like to have, let's say, the previous quarter or past 3 months. That means if I don't take a look at the current 3 months, if I take a look at the past 3 months, which is Q1, I just want to display the total, which is right here. That's all that I would want to do. To be able to do that, I've already made a measure called past 3 months. And let's just start writing the calculation for that. I'm going to go ahead and write something like, hey, I'm still trying to calculate my total sales calculation, but the filter context is not going to be the current quarter, which is Q2. However, it is going to be the previous quarter. So I'm going to write the previous quarter expression, and it asks me for a calendar date. I feed that in, I save it, and let's just kind of go ahead and drag this calculation past 3 months over to my visual. Now, when you take a look at the visual, obviously the measure is evaluated against every single filter context. So now the past 3 months actually gives me the right answer, which is 2175. But the thing is that at the moment it is evaluating under this particular product filter context and also the filter context for the month. Now, this is not what I want. However, we can modify this calculation, and the way that I'm going to do that is that I'm going to say that, hey, don't really show me anything if the month is in the scope, but if month is not in the scope at the total level, then I would want to show something, which is nothing but the total. So let's just go ahead and revise this calculation, and I'm going to say, hey, if in scope the calendar month, do that. If this is in scope, then I want to show a blank. But if this is not in scope, then I want to show this particular calculation. Now I save it, and let's just go ahead and take a look at the result. Now the result is not quite what I expect, because at the moment the calculation is kind of disappeared from here, but then we still have the item appearing here. And I have no way to turn off the label right here because there is no calculation right here, because at the moment this particular P3M is a dragged calculation. If you take a look at my visualization right here, in the fields, I have this past 3 months calculation dragged, and because it's dragged, it is actually going to eat up the space right here. So what do we do about it? The answer to such nuanced custom visualizations is nothing but calculation groups. Now, I've done a video on the past on calculation groups, on the basics and understanding of what it is. In case you do not know how to work with calculation groups, I'd highly recommend that you take a look at that video. But here, I'm going to show you one interesting application of calculation groups. Let's start. So calculation groups are now natively available in Power BI. Before they were not, now they are, and you happen to access them in the modeling view. So if I just go to the model view right here, I will take a look at the semantic model. This is where you take a look at all the tables. But if you flip over to the second tab right here, this is the model view, and this is where you can create calculation groups. I somehow still feel that calculation groups are far easier to create in tabular editor, but for now, I will just create one calculated item here, but then I will move on to creating the same thing in tabular editor. However, you can choose to make it work right here. Nevertheless, let's start. So I'm going to go over to the calculation groups. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say that I want to make a new calculation group. It gives me a bunch of items right here. Now we can give our calculation group a name. Let's just call this as periods, and then we have the calculation group column, and I'm going to call this as a selection. It doesn't matter. And then in here we have the ability to create a calculated item. Now what exactly is like a calculated item? A calculated item is every single calculation that you define that goes in the column of that visual. You will understand once we actually build this. So I'm going to go over to the calculated item right here, and I'm going to give this a name. Let's just call this as past 3 months. press enter. Now we have already written a measure for past 3 months, and I'm going to go ahead and open that particular measure, which is this particular measure that we just wrote a while ago. I'm going to copy this particular measure, Control C on that, and let's just write this measure inside of the calculation groups, and let's just take a look at the results for this. So past 3 months, I'm just going to go back right here, and instead of referring to the selected measure, which is zoom that a bit, instead of referring that to a selected measure, I'm going to paste my code right here. So I'm saying that again, if the scope is a calendar month, if that is true, that means you're working against the month, please show me a blank. But in case you're not working against the month, please show me the calculation right here. Now, if I just save it, and if I just go back to the visualization at the back, now if you take a look at the visual, our visual is still showing the two measures, which is total sales in past 3 months, and all of this is blank. But now if I just try to modify the visual and introduce my calculation group that I have created, it will start to make sense. So if I just go back and take a look at the items in my visualization, we still have a hard-coded total sales and the past 3 months as two measures which are occupying the two columns in here. But rather than this, I would want to have my calculation group. So let's just delete the past 3 months. Let the total sales be here because we are referring that in the calculation group. Against the month, I would want to have the calculation group. And if you take a look at the period had selection column, and that's what we made it as a calculation group. So I'm going to drag this off to my columns calculation right here and move this up, so be above the months. Now if you take a look at this particular visual, we had the month of April, then we had May, and then we had June. And since we defined this particular calculation that in case the context is April, May, and June, please don't show anything. And because not showing anything means the calculation item itself is not going to appear. This is phenomenal. In case you haven't been able to make sense of this, you will understand this once I make the second calculated item. So if I just go back to the calculation group real quick, at the moment we just have one calculated item. I'm just going to make one more calculated item. So I'm just going to right click here and I'm going to say that I want to make a new calculated item. And this is going to be nothing but, let's just say I'm calling this as my total sales, right? And I am going to go ahead, or let's just call this as my measure. And I am just going to maybe hard reference my total sales here. Let's just do that. And this is good to go. And if I now take a look at my visualization, and if I drill down on the hierarchy on the visualization, you're going to see that against the measure, which is nothing but my total sales, I do see the sales happening for every single month because I did not provide any kind of context. But when it came to the past 3 months, I added another context. That means in case you are working with the months, please do not show the calculated item at all. And therefore I take a look at the entire month's total. And that's how the calculation items work. Now, all there is left for us to do is create two more calculated items that we discussed, which is nothing but the last year and the growth of the last year. Let's just see how can we do those as well. If you're enjoying this video so far, I'd like to give a big shout out about my courses on Power BI, especially DAX, modeling, and the M language. I teach them in a very, very structured way. I try to give you the logic of understanding the problem, deconstructing the problem, and then framing the solution of the problem. That logic helps you to understand the problem at hand that we're doing in the course. Not only that, but you can then take the logic and apply it to your own cases as well, which is going to tremendously boost your confidence of solving your own data problems. Hundreds of students have joined my courses and they have benefited a lot. In case you're interested, the link is down in the description. Go back to the video. Next up is the last year calculated item, and I've already made another calculated item within my calculation group, and I'm calling that as my last year quarter. Now, let's just start to write the DAX for that. I'm going to say something like, hey, please check that where are you working at the moment. So I'm just going to go with if not in scope, my calendar month. If this is not in the scope, then that means I'm working at the total level, which is right here. Then I would want to do the calculation. What's my calculation? I want to go and take a look at the same period last year for the same quarter. And all that I'm going to do is, hey, if this is good, then I would want to do the calculate of the total sales, of course, and then I want to do the same period last year of the calendar day. Now, at the moment, we are taking a look at Q2 of 2012. The same period last year is going to retain the Q2 filter, but when move the year filter to the last year, and we will take a look at 2011 and then again Q2 of that. And that's pretty much it. I just save this particular calculated item and I just click on the refresh, and we have the last year quarter total also mentioned right here. This is phenomenal. All right, so I create my last calculated item in my calculation group, which is called growth from last year, and the DAX for that is ridiculously simple. All that I'm doing is in the current year variable storing the total sales, then last year is same period last year of total sales, and then I'm just doing the comparison of the current year versus last year in the divide calculation. And I'm just saying that if both the numbers are present, that means you have the last year number and you have the current year number. You have numbers at both the denominator and the numerator. And if you are working within the month, then I would want to do the growth calculation, which is is divide current year by last year, -1, and that's pretty much it. I save it, and once I save it, I'm gonna have to refresh it, and therefore I see the growth over last year calculation right here. Now, at the moment, you can see that the problem with the growth calculation is that it is actually showing you the growth, but the growth is so big that it's showing you $3 and $1 and $2. So we need to format this calculation in such a way that this starts to appear as a percentage and not the absolute currency value right here. And the next step in this entire thing is to make it formatted so that the visual and the numbers start to look more meaningful and they're more legible. Let's just begin with some formatting. One of the mistakes that we have made so far in our calculation group is that we have hard-coded total sales everywhere. That means tomorrow, if I would want this particular visual to work on the units or commission calculation, I cannot do that automatically because every single place in my calculation group and my calculation item, I have hard referenced total sales measure. So I want something more dynamic. That means the user should have the ability to pick and choose whatever measure he or she wants to display in this particular visual. So in case the user says, hey, show me sales, so the visual actually shows whatever there is. But if the user says, hey, show me commission, then all of these calculations should revise for commission. And if the user says, shows me units, then all of these calculations should actually show for the units. And before we kind of jump onto the formatting, let's just take a look at this problem first, and then we will jump onto the formatting. To be able to build this chiclet slicer, we would need a column. And in the column, we would have 3 values. One is going to be the sales calculation, commission calculation, and then we would have the units calculation. Let's just go build a fields parameter for that. So I'm going to go over to the modeling tab. In the modeling tab, you have the new parameter and we have the fields parameter for that. In the fields parameter, I'm going to give the parameter a name, and I have got a few calculations in the sales table. I'm just going to drag all of these calculations right here. So let's just say my first calculation is sales, then I have commission, and then I have units calculation. Now, at the moment, I've already done that and I've built a slicer, but once you kind of click on create, not only will you get a slicer on the page, but this is going to form a table. And I've already done that. I'm going to show you that real quick. Once I do that, I'm going to get a table something like this, which is my measures table, which is where I have already gotten the 3 calculations that I was talking about, the commission, the total units, as well as the sales right here. Now, using this, I can build a very simple slicer. Let's just do that. So I'm going to add a blank slicer on the page. So add a slicer. I'm going to add a blank slicer on the page. And within that slicer, I am just going to drag my measures and the calculated column from that. So calcs. Now, at the moment, if I maybe click on any of the calculation, you can see that nothing is happening. The visual is not changing any bit because this calculations is not connected to our fields parameter, right? So what we need to do is we need to do 2 things. We need to connect the fields parameter to our visual. That's part 1. And we need to remove the hard referencing of total sales that we have done in our calculation groups. So let's just go ahead and first remove the hard referencing. I'm just going to go back to the model view. In the model view, I have all of these calculated items, which is where I have hard reference to total sales. And I'm going to just go ahead and say that, hey, whatever is the selection by the user, just pick up that selection, and which is where I say selected measure. And the past 3 months also, rather than actually referring to total sales, I say selected measure. And in the last quarter as well, I just say selected measure. And then finally, in the growth over last year calculation as well, here I just remove that and I say selected measure, press enter. And this is where I also say selected measure, press enter, we good to go. Now, what we need to do is we need to connect our calculations over here. So actually, I'm just going to go over to my format pane right here. And in the fields pane, you can see that right now we have dragged total sales calculation, and I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to drag this fields table right here. So I'm just going to remove that, add the data, and I'm going to rather drag my measures and my calcs right here. Now, at the moment, because units are selected, you can obviously see all the sales numbers right here. But if I switch that over to units, and this is going to show you all the units, it's not properly formatted, and that's the next part anyways. But then we also take a look at the commission, the units, or the sales right here, and this is pretty good. Now comes the formatting. That means if I actually take a look at total sales right here, I should see all the percentages, growth icons, all of that. I want to take a look at it. Let's just move over to the formatting part now. Let me take a moment to explain to you how the formatting is going to work. Once you understand the broad logic, you'll be able to take it far ahead than what I'm explaining you in this little video. So the formatting is going to work something like this. Once the total sales is selected for all of these columns, which is April, May, June, the totals, the past 3 months, the last year, I would want whatever format is applied to sales as a measure itself, right? But when I flip that over over to units, I would want all of these columns to adhere to whatever format I have applied to units as a measure. And then similarly for commission as well, because that's a dollar amount, I would want all of these 6 columns to adhere to whatever formatting I have applied to the commission measure. So somehow I want to pick up the formatting of the commission measure itself and apply it once the fields parameter is selected. However, I want to run a distinctive format, which is a growth format separately, and I would want to apply a percentage format right here whenever that is applied. And I also want to apply icons and whatnot. So here is how it works. So I'm just going to go over to the modeling tab right here. And first off, I will take a look at what is the formatting applied to my base measures, because I'm trying to lift the formatting off of my base measures. So in my sales table, I've got the measures. And if you take a look at the sales right here, in the sales, you can see that I have applied this particular custom format for positive numbers, for negative numbers, and for a 0. And the same is there for commission as well. And then if you take a look at the total units right here, the total units has got no formats. That's why you are getting a lot of decimals. However, I would want to apply some format here. So I will just click right here and I'm going to say that this is going to be a whole number and there is going to be 0 decimals and we are good to go. Now, if you take a look at the visuals and if you take a look at the units right here, there are no decimals and this is good to go. Now, however, we will start defining what the format is going to be, especially for the calculation group. So I'm just going to go over to the model view once again. And now I will switch back my attention towards the calculation group, which is the quarter, the past 3 months, the last year quarter, and the growth from last year. So let's just go pick up the past 3 months. At the moment, you can only take a look at what is the defining expression or number or the way of defining the calculation. But we don't have any place to write the custom definition of the format. However, you can if you just switch this over to a dynamic format string and you say yes, and you would want to write it in the DAX formula editor. And now if you just click this button right here, you get this little formula bar up on the top. You have the ability to write custom format right here. And I'm going to show you how that DAX code looks like. So I'm going to go something like this. I'm going to say, hey, I am trying to format my selected measure. It could be units, it could be sales, it could be commission, whatever is my formatting. And then the formatting that I would want to apply is coming from the selected measure format string. That means you take a look at the measure, take a look at its format, and just pick it up and apply it here. Now, these double quotation marks at the start are just like tweaks to make it work. And I'm just going to press enter and this is good to go. I will similarly apply the last year quarter format as well. I will enable the dynamic format string, edit in the DAX formula, and I'm just going to write the format string right here, which is going to be the same, no difference whatsoever. But then for the growth, I will do a different type of formatting. So I'm going to say, hey, the dynamic format string is going to be yes again, and I will write the formula in the DAX bar. And the formula is going to look something like this, which is where I'm going to say that, hey, if the growth is greater than a 0, then I just want to show the growth percentage. I'm adding a percentage sign. But if that number is less than a 0, that means you have a negative growth. In that scenario, I would want to show a negative, like a down arrow, and I would want to show the number and the kind of in bracket presentation of the data, and that's pretty much it. And again, I do that little tweak of making the output appear and concatenate that with the output. I save it, I'm good to go. I'm going to take a look at my visual once again. And if I now take a look at the visual, it appears like this. Now, at the moment, we don't have any negative numbers to show. That's why it's showing all good. But if I take a look at sales, again, no negative numbers, it's all good. But if I take a look at Q3 here, perhaps we have 2 negative numbers, which is where the growth was negative as compared to the last quarter. And if you apply more slicers, you will get to see more data and more details of this. And there could be other numbers appearing negative as well. And if you format your table nicely, this visual is going to look something like this. And you can obviously play around with this. And this is a highly customized visualization, which is where you can apply filters, apply slicers, and take a look at the 3 months of the current period. You can take a look at the total of that, the past 3 months, the last year quarter, and the growth over last year. And this is how you build highly customized calculations in Power BI. I hope this gave you some ideas to play around with, and you can then take up your own matrix visualizations to the next level. Thanks so much for watching this.